Get a little fresh sippy sip. Alright. What's up, everybody? It's me, Iron Josh 300, and I am going through. I got 22 Murders at Karlov Manor packs tonight. We have 3 of the Murders at Karlov Manor alchemy packs, and then I got 1 Wilds of Eldraine pack that I'm going to open up. If you guys wouldn't mind in the comments section, help me out. I really don't know about the Murders at Karlov Manor, so when I'm opening up these packs, if you guys do happen to see one that is a pretty good card, or if you've been using it and it's a good combination with something else, please use the comment section to let me know what's going on. I'll make sure to try to respond to everything if you guys see something good that I get. But yeah, I'm just going to jump into it. So let's open this Wilds of Eldraine. I'm a standard player, so I don't really do the alchemy very much, and been using black cards for a lot. Here we go. Alright, so we got Minecart Daredevil. We got a Hopeful Vigil. I was just using this Kellen's Light Blades today. It wasn't bad. Flash. When enters the battlefield, destroy target creature an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. That's not bad. Cost for 6. Discard your hand and draw 2 cards. Alright, Dragon Mantle. Enchant creature when Dragon Mantle enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature has +1 on until... Oh, for 1 fire. For 1 red mana. +1 and 0. That's pretty good. Alright. Seer Ginger, the Meal Ender. Seer Ginger, the Meal Ender has trample, hexproof, and haste as long as an opponent controls a planeswalker. Whenever another artifact you control is put in the graveyard from battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on Seer Ginger and scry 1. Sacrifice Seer Ginger, you gain life equal to its power. That's actually not bad in comparison with my Urabask Forge deck. I've been using Urabask's Forge and having fun with it. I'm going to get these alchemy packs out of the way. Like I said, guys, if you see something that's pretty OP, let me know, because I really don't know which good cards are out of this yet. I started just messing around with it. I had fun when we got the initial tournament that they gave us, though. When Lurking Spinecrawler enters the battlefield, you may choose a non-land card in your hand. If you do, that card perpetually incorporates 1 black and 1 and gains when you cast a spell. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. Each opponent who can't discards a card. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell for each of that spell's color, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. That's kind of bonkers. That sounds like a good card. Spotlight Falcon. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may collect 5 evidence. Flying. When Spotlight Falcon enters the battlefield, if evidence was collected, conjure a card named Spotlight Falcon into your hand. Hey! That's pretty good, I think. Alright, here we go, number 2. Oh, there we go. That's good. And we got another wild card up in here. Galvanized Goblin Mask Maker. Let's see. Thoughtstring Analyst. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your target opponent's library face down. If you lose life equal to its mana value. You may look at it and play that card for as long as it remains exiled. And mana of any of this type can be spent to cast that spell. That's pretty good. Playing blue-black. Alright. I'm not going to spend too much time on these alchemy ones because I don't play alchemy. For all you alchemy players out there, I'm sorry. Uncommon wild card. Alright. Trample Ward Haste. Rampaging Ursaguana gets 2/2 for each time this creature attacked this game? What? This guy's, alchemy players got it on a whole other level. When Shady Informant dies, it deals 2 damage to any target. Wait a second. Rampaging Ursaguana gets 2/2 for each time this creature attacks this game. Okay, that's nuts. When Shady Informant dies, it deals 2 damage to any target. That's... Okay, he's a 4/2 for 5. Each opponent sacrifices an artifact, an enchantment, sacrifices a creature with flying. I actually used that not too long ago. Okay, so I guess these aren't all alchemy. I guess you can use them in some of them in standard. Alright, here we go. Alright. Projector Inspector. I'll kind of just keep it for the video to the uncommon and above. But when this case enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target creature and opponent controls. To solve, 3 or more sources you control dealt damage this turn. If unsolved at the beginning of your end step. Solved. Sacrifice this case. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. Choose one of them. You may play that card this turn. Oh, there we go. There we go, boys. Let's hit it. Alright. Nice, I'll take that. Chalk outline. Whenever one or more creature cards leave your graveyard, create a 2/2 white and blue detective creature token, then investigate. Sacrifice this artifact. Draw a card. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, survey 1. That's pretty good. I've been seeing a lot of white and black decks lately. There's a lot of good white and black decks lately. Sanguine Survivors, turn face up. Another creature you control gains lifelink. This has got flying and lifelink for 3. That's pretty good. Prophet's Edict's Memory. When Prophet's Edict Memory enters the battlefield, draw a card. You have no maximum hand size. That's good. At the beginning of your combat turn, if you've drawn more than 1 card this turn, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Where X is the number of cards you've drawn this turn -1. That's kind of... That sounds fun. I don't know, man. That sounds really fun. For 2! For 2? Okay. Another Sanguine Savior. Alright, what's this? Thinking Cap. Equipped creature gets 1/2. Equip a detective for 1 or equip others for 3. Leering Onlooker. For 4, you can exile Leering Onlooker from your graveyard. Create 2/1 tapped. Okay, thanks. Tapped 1/1 black creature tokens with flying. I get 2 1/1 flyers for 4. But she's a 1/3 for 2. Ah, that's not bad. Lazav, Wearer Faces. When Lazav, Wearer Faces attacks, exile target card from a graveyard, then investigate. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, you may have Lazav become a copy of a creature card exiled with it until the end of turn. That sounds pretty cool if you exile some pretty bomb creatures. Some big hitters. 2 wild cards. Let's go. Bite down on crime. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may collect 6 evidence. This spell costs 2 less to cast if evidence was collected. Okay. Target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. It deals damage equal to the power to target creature you don't control. Oh, those are pretty fun. The Hedge Maze. Hedge Maze enters the battlefield. Surveil 1, excuse me. Blue or forest. Islander forest. Blue or green. Hey, there we go. Okay, nothing really new. What's this guy do? Concealed Weapon. Equipped creature gets 3/0. Disguise. You may cast this card face down for 3 as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2. Ah, that's pretty good. When Concealed Weapon is turned up, attach it to target creature you control. So for 3, you can just play it down as a 2/2. That's cool. Vein Ripper. For 6, he's got flying and ward. Sacrifice a creature. Yo! Whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. That's kind of baller, but that's really expensive. I don't know if that's kind of baller, but that's really expensive. Okay, but still in all, I'm happy I have him. Happy to have him. Case of the Pilfered Proof. Whenever a detective enters the battlefield under your control, and whenever a detective you control is turned face up, put a +1/+1 counter on it. To solve, you control 3 or more detectives. If unsolved, solve at the beginning of your end step. Solved, if 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, these tokens plus a clue token are created. And clue tokens, you can draw a card. See, that sounds pretty good to me too. Okay. What do we got? Case of the Filched Falcon. In case enters the battlefield, investigate. To solve, you control 3 or more artifacts. Solved. For 3 mana, sacrifice this case, put 4 1/1 counters on target non-creature artifact. Becomes a 0/0 bird with its flying in addition to its other types. See, I don't know. It's not really my thing. I don't know. Enters the battlefield, choose one. Destroy up to 1 target artifact, sacrifice an artifact. If you do, put 2 1/1 counters on this gargantuan. He destroys an artifact. That's pretty good. Plus he's a 2/2 for 3. Hunted Bone Brute. Menace. When Hunted Bone Brute enters the battlefield, target opponent creates 2 1/1 white dog token creatures. When it dies, each opponent loses 3 life. So the opponent gets 2 1/1 white dog creature tokens? It's kind of random. Oh, but this only costs 3, so it's kind of like, okay. I don't know. It's a 6/2 for 3 that creates 2 things that can group up and kill it. Hey, another uncommon. Look at us go. Uncommon check, rare card check, wild card check, I should say. 3 uncommon, 5 uncommon, 3 common, 5 uncommon, 4 rare. Neighborhood Guardian. When another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Alright. Case of the Locked Hothouse. You may play an additional land on each of your turns. To solve, you control 7 or more lands. Solved, you may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may play lands and cast creature and enchantment spells from the top of your library. That sounds pretty good for 4. I think if I was playing green, I would probably put that in one of my new decks. Tunnel Tipster. Beginning of your end step, if a face-down creature entered the battlefield under your control this turn, put a 1/1 counter on Tunnel Tipster. If you're playing a lot with the Murderers, that's really good, because there's a lot of 1/1 cards that come into play. Or the face-down cards. Ooh, got another one. What's this? Undercity Eliminator. Undercity Eliminator enters the battlefield. You may sacrifice an artifact or creature. When you do, exile target creature an opponent controls. I don't know, what do you guys think for 5? Is that any good? Here we go. Delny Streetwise Lookout for 3. You get a 2/2. Creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. If an ability or a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. With powers 2 or less. That's gotta be good. I don't know the cards very well, but that's gotta be good with something, because then you're getting double abilities popping off. Another wild card. Harry Dronesmith. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 colorless dropped artifact token with creature token with flying. It gains haste until end of turn. Sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. Now this could go in my Urbrass Forge deck easily. Artifact creature with flying. Oh, man, that's pretty sweet. Kylox Visionary Inventor. 7 for red and blue. Menace, Ward 2, and Haste. Whenever a Kylox Visionary Inventor attacks, sacrifice any number of other creatures, then exile the top X cards of your library where X is their total power. You may cast any number of instant sorcery spells from among the exiled cards without paying their mana cost. That's a lot. I don't know, man. That's big boys right there. That's got to be good for somebody. Let me get 3 of them in a deck. I don't know. When this case of the Shattered Pact, when this case enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. There are 5 colors among permanents you control. Solved at the beginning of your turn. Target creature you control gains flying, double strike, and vigilance until end of turn. See, for 2, that's pretty good in a multicolor deck. Another wild card. Vengeful Creeper. When Vengeful Creeper's turn face up, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. That's pretty good. Enters the battlefield. Target opponent exiles a card from their hand. See, I like those. I like those cards. I like those. Case of the Pillar Proof. We already did that one. Hide in plain sight. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Cloak 2 of them, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. To cloak, put it into the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2. Turn it face up at any time for its mana cost if it's a creature card. That's pretty baller for 4. Yeah, so you're guaranteed. Yeah, that's pretty baller. There we go. Ooh, we're up to Mythic. Shock deals 2 damage to any target for 1. I like that. Another murder, updated artwork. Target creature gets 2/2 until the end of turn and gets to investigate. Enchant creature. When Fey Flight enters the battlefield, enchanted creature gains hexproof until end of turn. Enchanted creature gets 1 and 0 and has flying. Raucous Theater. Raucous Theater enters the battlefield tapped. When Raucous Theater enters the battlefield, survey 1. Surveil 1. Little lackluster in my opinion. Topiary Panther for 6. Trample, basic land cycling. I'm getting used to these basic land cycling things. That's actually becoming more and more helpful. Let me know if you guys are using those basic land cycling cards. 10th District Hero for 2. And then for 2, you can collect evidence 2. 10th District Hero becomes a human detective with base power of toughness 4/4 and gains vigilance, which is pretty good. For 3, collect evidence 4. If the 10th District Hero as a detective becomes a legendary creature named Maleva, the Stalwart, and has base power and toughness 5/5, gains other creatures you control have indestructible. It's pretty good. You just gotta exile cards from your graveyard. But I'd say it's pretty good. I'd throw 1 in my deck, you know. Give it a try. Give the old college try. Sacrifice Escape Tunnel. Search your library for basic land card. Put it into the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Sacrifice Escape Tunnel. Target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. It's not bad. Case File Auditor. When Case File Auditor enters the battlefield, whenever you solve a case, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal an enchantment card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of the library in a random order. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast these case spells. Oh, they're giving me more land. Land. Duo lands. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may collect 6 evidence. Until the end of turn, target artifact or creature becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness 4/3. If evidence was collected, it has a base power and toughness of 1/1 until end of turn instead. Cast this spell, you may collect evidence 6. Until end of turn, target artifact or creature becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 4/3. If evidence was collected. So this would be kind of gnarly if you're running blue and black and you don't really like an artifact. You can turn it into a creature and then murder it. Or, you know, whatever the other one is there for 1 and then blow it up if it has 5 or less HP. Power and toughness. I forget what it's called. What's this? Soul Search. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it, exile that card. If the card's mana value is 1 or less, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. I don't know. Oh, the wild card, that's good. Another Sanguine Survivor. Come on. Gotten them all. Assassin's Trophy. Black and green, excuse me. Destroy target permanent and opponent controls. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card and put that on the battlefield, then shuffle. And I guess for 2, we're killing something, and then there's murder. Nice. What's this guy do? Perimeter Enforcer. Human Detective. Flying and lifelink for 2. Okay, whenever another detective enters the battlefield under your control, whenever a detective you control is turned face up, Perimeter Enforcer gains 1/1 until end of turn. If you're playing heavy detectives, like, I know this whole set revolves around this. But, like, man, I feel like it's gotta be multicolors each time you're playing it. I don't know, I'm interested. Another Sanguine Survivor. Wow, I've gotten them all. Hard-hitting question. Target for 1, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature and planeswalker you don't control. I love it. Sounds really OP. Torch of the Witness deals twice X damage to target creature. If excess damage was dealt to that creature this way, investigate. You're just blowing creatures up. Ezrim Agency Chief. 2 blue, 2 white, and 1. He's a legendary creature Archon Detective. Flying 5/5. When Ezrim Agency Chief enters the battlefield, investigate twice. For 1, sacrifice an artifact. Ezrim gains your choice of Vigilance, Lifelink, or Hexproof until end of turn. Dude. I'm saying, guys, this is probably the best card I've pulled out of all of these this entire session. But is it? I mean, this card looks really freaking good. Alright, well, if anybody uses this card, let me know in the comment section and tell me what kind of deck you're using it in, but that looks really good. I still haven't gotten any Planeswalkers if there are any in this set. Alright, we got a wild card. When Nightdrinker Moiri enters the battlefield, you lose 3 life. Disguise for 2. I don't really like the lose 3 life situations. Raucous Theater. This is basic. It's a land. I can surveil 1 for black and red. Give us a new Planeswalker. Now I want one. What do we got? Slime Against Humanity. Oh, these are nuts, man. You can have as many as you want. Yeah, you can have as many as you want of this card named Slime Against Humanity in here. Basically, you can. The more you put in here, if you put 20 of these in here, you just keep casting them. Every time one goes to the graveyard, the next one gets an extra counter on it. Where X is 2 plus the total number of cards you own in exile and your graveyard that are oozes or named Slime Against. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, read it on your own time. It's just bonkers. Sumala Sentry. Whenever a face down permanent you control is turned face up, put a 1/1 counter on it and a 1/1 counter on Sumala Sentry. This card looks insane. For 2, it's a 1/3 and you're putting counters on it if you're turning cards face over. If you're turning cards face over, right. Excuse me. Alright, for 3, Flying and Vigilance, it's 2/4 Angel Detective. At the beginning of your upkeep, investigate once for each opponent who has more cards in their hand than you. Dang, man. So, like, if this is the beginning of the game, that's pretty cool. I mean, I'll take it just for the 3 mana cost and Flying and Vigilance. That's pretty good. What's this guy do? Exit Specialist. Exit Specialist can't be blocked by creatures of power 3 or greater. Disguise for 2. When Exit Specialist is turned face up, return another target creature to its owner's hand. That's pretty good. That's actually really good. Four of these cards are actually, 3 of these cards are actually pretty good looking. What's this card do? As Crowd Control Warden enters the battlefield or is turned face up, put X 1/1 counters on it, where X is the number of other creatures you control. That's pretty good if you're putting it in a game, late game. Another wild card. Sanitation Automation enters the battlefield, surveil 1 for 2. That's not bad. Another. We've gotten every Sanguine Savior. Thank you, game. Another Visionary, Kylox Visionary Inventor. We already had this one. Bummer. Bunk pack. Alright. Give us Planeswalker. It says Cold Case Cracker. When Cold Case Cracker dies, investigate. What? Ill-timed explosion for 4. Draw 2 cards, then you may discard 2 cards. When you do, ill-timed explosion deals X damage, where X damage to each creature, where X is the greatest mana value among cards discarded in this way. See, this is a card that I don't really understand. Like, why would I want to do X damage and blow up my own creatures? Like, if it's a thing to clear the board, I get it. But, like, man, you got to be having a rough game for that to have a good effect. Rubber Belt Maverick enters the battlefield, Surveil 2. When Rubber Belt Maverick, exile him from your graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Activate only as a 1/1 sorcery. I'm sorry, as a 1/1 sorcery. What am I saying? As a sorcery. This is actually pretty good because he's a 1/1 for 1. You can put him out on your first turn, attack with him second turn. He gets a Surveil 2. That's actually like a pretty good card, in my opinion. There we go. Breakout. What do we get? For red and green, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them. If that card has mana value 2 or less, you may put it onto the battlefield and it gains haste until end of turn. If you didn't put the revealed card onto the battlefield this way, put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That doesn't sound half bad. I think a bunch of people would use that. Artifact food. Equipped creature gets 2/0. Sacrifice the haunch, you gain 3 life. When haunch is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 2. If you do, create 2 1/1 white dog creatures. Creature tokens. I gotta figure out how to use creature tokens more. Assemble the players. For 2, you may look at the top card of your library anytime. Once each turn, you may cast a creature spell with power 2 or less from the top of your library. That seems OP. That just sounds really freaking good. Like, all the way. With power 2 or less, that angel we got was a 2/4 earlier. And you can just look at the top of your library. If this guy's here, boom, you can just... Yeah, that's like OP. Okay, Seasoned Consultant. Whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, Seasoned Consultant gets 2/0 until the end of turn. Nice wild card. We'll take those. Enchant creature when convenient target enters the battlefield, suspect enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets 1/1. Return convenient target from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty good. Wojak Investigator. This is the angel I was just talking about. Yeah, so like the card that we just got, you could literally flip this over on the top of your library and play this, not even have to draw, and then you get another free card. That's just so good. Last pack. Free wild card. Let's go. Alright, Repulsive Mutation. X 1/1 counters on target creature you control, then counter up to 1 target spell unless its controller pays mana equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. Alright. Counter spell unless its controller plays 2. Alright. Sanguine Saber, guys. Okay, Judith. Carnage Connoisseur. When you cast an... Alright, she's a legendary creature, human shaman for 3, and she's 3/4 for 5. Whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery spell, choose one. That spell gains Death Touch and Lifelink. Death Touch and Lifelink. Create a 2/2 red imp creature token with, when this creature dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, choose one. Yo, you just create 2/2 imps. So you're casting like not fireball, you're casting like some of your red ones that do damage. And then what if you're casting like murder, if you're casting any of those black ones that just kill creatures, this guy, she's just gonna pump out little 2/2s that do extra damage. Wow, dude, I think I like her. I gotta make multicolored decks. I'm so noob. I'll put up a video of some of my play with my Urbesque and my black deck. But yeah, guys, thanks for stopping through. Let me know what you guys thought. you know, I like I said, I'm still kind of new with the new decks or the new packs and the new set. So if you guys have ideas on how to use some of those cards, or if you are using them, just feel free to comment down below and you know, tell me what you thought. Maybe I missed something. All right, guys, thank you again, and I will do some my Urabrask Nightmare, or the Destroy Standard deck is still my favorite, or my Urabrask one I've been working on a lot, and you guys can see those in a future video. Take care. Have a wonderful one.